You're like, I'm sick of Band-Aid solutions and I want somebody to tell me actually how to help my body. You are in the right spot perfectly. Hello everyone. Today I thought we would sit down. I even have my little, oh, we're really getting off to a good start here. Thought I would do a video today on exactly step-by-step how I improved my fertility and really transformed my cellular health. That is what I did. I will just be honest with you. I really did not know if I was ever going to be able to conceive. I had 5 different doctors tell me that I would never be able to get pregnant, that I had the lowest progesterone that they'd ever seen, all of them, individual, different doctors from different parts of California. I would drive hours just to go see certain special endocrinologists. Like, I seriously did everything to improve my hormone health and balance my hormones. And I would do everything that they said, down to how I should work out, what I should eat, cutting out sugar, like all these things. My thyroid, I was super low, hypothyroidism. And I mean, you guys, I really tried, okay? I was the star patient. I did everything that they told me to do. I took all the pills, I took all the supplements, I did the workouts or lack thereof. I scaled down the intensity. I mean, I did it all. And to be told your labs are not improving, nothing looks better. Are you taking your progesterone? Are you taking this stuff to kill the candida? Are you taking your thyroid medicine? And I got to the point where I was having panic attacks. I had horrible anxiety. I couldn't sleep at night. I would wake up every night like clockwork in the middle of the night. And I just started realizing that none of this was making me feel better. None of the Band-Aids were making me actually have better energy. Let me turn that light back on. I was doing everything right. I was the healthy girl. All I can tell you is I just wanted answers. I just wanted to do what I was supposed to do and get the right outcome. And yet every time I tried, or it seemed like I was doing the right thing, my body was going in the wrong direction. And that's why I'm making this video for you today, because I want to share my story in that if I was the girl that was hypothyroid, low progesterone, literally a 1 progesterone after I miscarried, and being told you're never gonna be able to get pregnant, I just wanna sit down and share what God has done. Because when I miscarried, and I'm literally looking at the little booties that I bought for Beau to tell him when I found out I was pregnant with our baby Star. And I will never forget that moment of finding out the first time that I was pregnant, the joy and just the shock, being told that that would never happen for me. And yet there I was looking at those 2 pink lines in absolute just pure shock and joy, like the highest high, and then going into the lowest low after miscarrying our first baby. And I just will never forget that insatiable hunger and prayer of, God, please show me the way. You designed the body and hormones, and what you made, I want to know it. I want to understand it. I want you to lead me and guide me. And ultimately my prayer was that so another woman doesn't have to go through this. And that was my prayer then, and that is still my prayer now. And that's why I'm filming this video. I went back to school, I became a nutritional therapy practitioner, and then I found the doctor that changed my life, who taught me, Cambria, you need to get really good. I'll never forget it. He said, Cambria, you need to get really good at blood chemistry. And I thought I needed the fancy hormone tests. I thought I needed all this stuff. He was exactly right. And I got really good at blood chemistry, and I started realizing what he said is the key to everything. And let me tell you, if you hear nothing else in this video, let it be this. Your hormones are fruits, okay? You cannot change a fruit. Just like I can't go outside right now and I can't change the fruit that's growing on, well, there's no fruit growing on any of our trees outside, okay? But my neighbors have fruit trees, and I can't go out there and change the apples that are growing. There's no possible way to turn that apple into an orange or to change the health of the apple without changing the roots and without focusing on the soil. It is the exact same way with the body. I started focusing on making healthy cells, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did that and break it down in, I hope, a very simple way in this video. You make a healthier cell, now you have better working tissues. When you have better working tissues, you get better working organs. And when you have a better working organ, you have a better working organ system, the endocrine system. Once I stopped chasing progesterone and trying to band-aid fix everything, it was always thyroid for thyroid. You're low thyroid, we'll put you on thyroid. You're low progesterone, we'll put you on progesterone. It was never like, why aren't you converting thyroid hormone? Why aren't you making enough thyroid hormone? Why aren't you making enough progesterone? Like, let's do that. And so that's what we are here to do. That's what I'm here to help you do. So you're in the right place. If you're like, I'm sick of band-aid solutions and I want somebody to tell me actually how to help my body, this is the spot. You are in the right spot perfectly. Welcome to the table, because this is the place that you're gonna learn that. Let's make some healthy cells. What do you say? Number one, the thing that we need to realize is that there are cellular stressors, what I like to call them. There are cellular stressors, and I addressed every single one of these things before I got pregnant. Number one is energy. Okay, we're gonna specifically talk about glucose. It is the number one energy source for our cells. Balance blood sugar. I cannot tell you, I'm gonna tell you things I've never told you in this video. My blood sugar was so unbalanced eating healthy foods. It's not about the healthy food, okay? It's about, let me give you an example. If I am going to eat a high carbohydrate meal, and me and my lifestyle, knowing that I'm a writer, I type, I sit down, I write weekly emails, I edit, I'm sitting a lot, and I eat a high carbohydrate meal, and then I go sit. That's not the energy that my body is going to be using, and nor is it asking for, okay? My body doesn't need that amount of energy. I got very serious with blood sugar regulation leading up to conception. All of this was done utilizing functional labs. You can get a blood glucose tracker, you can prick your finger, you can go to CVS, you can get anything that's gonna track your blood glucose. You can get labs. There's lots of different ways to look at what's going on with your blood glucose, but that is the number one thing that I did, is I got very, very serious, because guess what? When I started actually tracking my blood sugar, and I will never forget the day, one of the first times I ever tracked my blood sugar, and I ate an acai bowl, and I was very sedentary, and I had eaten it maybe like 30, 45 minutes before, my blood sugar was so high that I panicked, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it was blinking red at me. Like, this is an emergency. Your blood sugar is so high. Like, am I diabetic? This is terrifying. And I think like 50% of Americans are like pre-diabetic or something crazy. So many people, so many women are walking around with blood sugar issues. If you have super high insulin, super high blood sugar, that is what you need to focus on when it comes to fertility. That is the number one, step number one. Step number one. All the supplements are not gonna save you, okay? What I like to say is, like, you cannot put a band-aid over your lifestyle. If your lifestyle is putting in too much energy and you chronically have way too high of blood glucose, which was my story, and I was eating acai bowls and all this fruit, and then I was super inactive. Fruit isn't bad. Sugar isn't bad. Oh my gosh, this light. Let me be very clear. None of that is bad, okay? It's about the context. It's, are you using the energy that you're giving your body? That's what it comes down to. If we have chronically high blood sugar, that is one of the biggest preventers of ovulation. And then we don't ovulate, we don't make progesterone, we don't ovulate, we don't release an egg that can't be fertilized. You can't get pregnant. I make every single one of my clients do this, test their postprandial glucose. Did that meal work for you? Not was that meal good or bad. Did that meal work for you in the situation and the literal activity that you're having that day? That's literally what we look at, okay? Now, practical steps that I did to do that. Now, this is gonna be a little controversial, but I'm gonna say it. I stopped snacking. When I started learning research-based, evidence-based, understanding physiology, I decided I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not snacking all day. I'm not grazing. There's so much information. There's so many different opinions out on the internet. I decided, you know what? Nope, I'm eating 3 solid meals a day. I'm giving my digestive system a break in between each meal, and I am front loading and prioritizing protein in every single one of those meals. Does that mean that I never have a snack or I never? No, it doesn't. It just means that the majority of my lifestyle, no, I pretty much never, no, I didn't snack. That's the thing. If you're constantly eating things all day long and insulin is being released all day long, that is going to massively affect fertility. You want to address the habits that are driving those numbers, okay? I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, but I can absolutely guarantee you that prioritizing protein, getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, stop grazing all day, stop over consuming carbohydrates if you have a very sedentary lifestyle, like match your movement with your carbs. If you eat a more high carb meal, make sure you go for a walk. Start lifting weights, like start utilizing the energy that you're giving your cells. That is what I did before I got pregnant. In my own personal walk with God, God really took me into a deeper relationship with Him before I got pregnant, and I started practicing fasting for spiritual reasons, which literally was for spiritual reasons, but then the more that I even research into fasting, I don't like intermittent fasting, okay, ladies, personally. For women, I like a day fast and not ever in the luteal phase, never in the luteal phase. I would do it in my follicular phase, so leading up to ovulation, and I would just do a full day fast. So no food for 24 hours. I understand that this was a spiritual practice for me and really was for me to be. It's not that food is bad. It's not that food is bad. It's experiencing the direct sustenance of God. So I want to add that in there as well, because obviously that did have an effect on my blood sugar levels and things like that. And I would do probably at least once a week, not once a week. I would do at least one day in the follicular phase of a fast, usually. Oh my gosh, this light. That's the number one thing, is how your cells are utilizing energy, okay? Is glucose. That's the number one thing. The number one thing. And I'm telling you this before all the supplements, because no supplement is going to save you if your lifestyle is going a different way. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to say it like that because I love you, because sometimes we just kind of need to be told. Like, I wish somebody would have just told me like this, like, Cambria, don't look to a supplement to save your lifestyle. You have to do your life. The lifestyle is first. The lifestyle is the number one thing, Okay. Number one is energy. And energy can become a stressor when it's too much, too high blood glucose, way too high insulin, all those things. That's a cellular stressor. Number two is damage to the cell. There can be a lot of different ways that this can happen, but one of the number one things is environmental toxins. For me, my story is mold. I was living in mold. Mold is extremely detrimental to the reproductive system. It directly attacks the reproductive system. I personally did a very intense, not intense, but just very many months long of taking binders, being on a specific gut protocol to really go after the mold that was in my body. I used functional testing to find out about the mold. That's why I became a practitioner, so that one day I could offer all these things to you, because I needed it myself and I was not getting it from anybody else, nor did I ever get it from anyone else. I ended up literally finding out about it myself. I got the mold test. It came back in the red. One of the most dangerous kinds of mold in my body that I had been living in for many years. And I really started protecting my cells, binding to that mold, binding it to get it out of my body. It's not just one part. It's not just the blood sugar. It's not just the mold. It's not just we're gonna focus on this. Everything is affecting the cell. If we just address blood sugar and I didn't address the horrible toxin, the reproductive toxin of the mold, that's going to be massively negatively affecting my fertility and my health and my progesterone. Fiber. I know that's like maybe the easiest thing in the whole world, but fiber. I ate a lot of fiber to bind to bile and get all that toxic out of the body. In that same category is other toxins. So obviously I use like everything primarily pure. Like I don't use any toxins in my deodorant. I don't even paint my nails anymore. Like you don't have to be that extreme. I'm just saying, like, I just recognize the toxins that are in the world and I want to lighten the load as much as I personally possibly can. My skincare, like my makeup is non-toxic. My body products are non-toxic. So that is something like, it's so crazy when I work with clients who are like, I'm still wearing perfume. And I'm like, girl, I love you, but like you are putting an endocrine disruptor on your body. There's two specific things every single day that I did. I'm going to tell you right now. It is polyphenols, okay? And it is vitamin C. Okay, polyphenols, they're naturally found in things like matcha, which I drink matcha every single day. Another really easy way to get polyphenols is something like this, a propolis, Beekeeper's Naturals propolis. I do this every single day, 4 sprays a day. It has tons of polyphenols. Polyphenols act as antioxidants that help with oxidative stress. So when you hear antioxidants and oxidative stress, what that means is if there's too many free radicals and not enough antioxidants, that's going to cause oxidative stress in the body. So when you bring in polyphenols from something like propolis, it's not only a good way to support my immune system, which is really critical in pregnancy. When you bring in polyphenols, that helps with oxidative stress. And so every single day, I included polyphenols. I would have my matcha. I do my 4 sprays a day. When I read the studies on propolis, I'm like, this is a game changer. I have to get polyphenols. And I started prioritizing polyphenols. Now, the second thing is when it comes to free radicals and when it comes to cellular damage is 1,000 milligrams. This is the research base of vitamin C. So in my progesterone punch, you know, I just add in vitamin C. Just restocked all my Beekeepers. I really like these from Beekeepers as well. This liposomal delivery, the 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams a day, every single day in preconception. I did not skip a day. This is the research-based vitamin C, plus this one comes with the propolis, so you're getting even those polyphenols. Now we're getting into the supplements, the actual things that I took every single day. So the propolis every single day, 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C every single day. These are yummy. You can throw them in your purse. Also on my list every single day, this was literally my fertility checklist, and bee pollen was on this list, and every single day, and it's in my fridge every single day. I have my teaspoon of bee pollen. It's nature's multivitamin. That's the best way to describe it. I love this brand. This is exactly the things that I took, and they just so happen to be doing a Black Friday sale. So I'm like, we all have to take advantage of this. I'm stocking up. This is their biggest sale that they do all year, and they do sell out. So they're opening early access for you guys, for my audience, which is amazing. It's their early Black Friday sale before they sell out, before doors open to the public. So beekeepersnaturals.com/Cambria is gonna get you that 30% off. And I am telling you something right now. Get 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C every single day, ladies, every single day, and get in your polyphenols. And literally their bee pollen too. Every single day I take my bee pollen. Beekeepers has been in my arsenal for a long time. Great way to support your immune system, but also a great way to make healthy cells with those polyphenols, vitamin C, and B vitamins, free-form amino acids, like everything that your cells need. Like God just made bees in nature to just give it to us. Okay, next up is a prenatal, of course. So needed prenatal is my favorite prenatal. If you want to try to conceive, I recommend starting a prenatal 6 months before you try to conceive. I literally read every single prenatal that's out there on the market, compared them all, read all the nutrients, read the form that the nutrient was in, read the studies of the sufficient amounts of the nutrients. Like, I did all that reading so that you don't have to, and needed by far is the winner. I love that they don't have iron. I love that they're methylated B vitamins. I love that they add the choline. I love everything about them. My iron labs have come back perfect. I've just been feeling so thankfully energized and good in this pregnancy, and needed is hands down the prenatal that I would recommend. Next up is a fatty acid. Good fatty acid. This is really important for blood. Actually, a lot of times we just think of brain development, but fatty acids are very important for our blood. I absolutely love the Rosita's cod liver oil for my fatty acid. Getting in your omega-3s is so critical, and the cod liver oil is my preferred one because a lot of them out there can be really rancid. You just got to be really careful with omega-3s. Very important for your blood, very important for your brain, for baby's brain, for inflammation. There's just a lot that goes into this, and so this is the one that I recommend. Next up is vitamin E. Again, another antioxidant. When we talk about polyphenols and antioxidants, that's what we're doing. We are just protecting the cell as much as we can, and we just really don't get a lot of vitamin E in our food. So I took an extra dose of vitamin E along with my prenatal because of what the research says. So everything that I do really is based on research, evidence-based. That's why I take the propolis. That's why I take the 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. That's why I take the prenatal. omega-3s, like everything is research-based. Next up, I did castor oil packs like pretty much every single night except for in my luteal phase. In my follicular phase, I always had a castor oil pack on. This is amazing for the liver. This is amazing for blood flow. This is amazing for everything. I love castor oil. You can read all the benefits, but this is something that I did so much leading up to preconception. Or during preconception, leading up to conception. Chlorophyll. I love chlorophyll because it's so high in copper, and our liver really needs copper to regulate iron. We really want to make healthy red blood cells. So we want to have good oxygen delivery. So we want to have good iron usage in the body, and we need copper to use iron well and appropriately. So I love this. I still take it in pregnancy. I pretty much take this like every other day. I try to take it every day. I try to do like a splash every day as long as I remember. But this is amazing, and I absolutely love this for copper. And then next up, as you know, every single day I have my bone broth and my gelatin. I love my gelatin. This specifically is super abundant in the amino acid glycine, which is the amino acid that our body needs to make glutathione, which is our master antioxidant in the body. So everything again comes down to making healthy cells. We want to give the body absolutely as much protection as it can to help protect the cells from all the things that are coming after them, and making enough and sufficient amounts of glutathione is critical. So there's all these different fancy supplements for glutathione. Glycine. You need glycine to make glutathione. So just give your body the building blocks that it needs, and it'll do what it needs to do. In my progesterone punch, I do every single day a splash of cranberry juice. That is huge, ladies. If you want to just have a healthier vaginal microbiome, which is very critical for pregnancy and being able to conceive, is having a balanced vaginal microbiome. Cranberry juice feeds the good bacteria down there. It maintains the healthiest pH in your vaginal microbiome by feeding the good guys so that it's a more hostile environment for the bad guys down there. Also, natural pre and probiotics. I drink this every single day. And just remember, like, I'm just sharing what I've done. And I know that sometimes I don't want this video to come across as overwhelming and you have to do every single one of these things. I'm just sharing with you my story and what I have found in my life. Not like check this off, have to be perfect, but like this is a yummy tea for me. You know, like it's a yummy tea. I enjoy having it every single day. It makes me happy. There's naturally occurring pre and probiotic. Enjoying the changes to my lifestyle that I've made. I don't have to sweeten this, which was huge for my blood sugar regulation. I just love Peak Tea so much. I love their matcha, super high on polyphenols. I love their fermented pu'er, and I've drank it every day in pregnancy, and I feel so good with this, and just steady energy all day. I don't feel anxious anymore. Coffee, I cut out coffee, okay? So that made me super duper anxious. And I just did my best every day to just give my body pre and probiotics and to lower the stress on my cells. And so coffee really shot adrenaline through my body, made me feel very anxious. I didn't like how that made me feel. I felt better on tea. And then also, speaking of lowering adrenaline, not doing coffee, salt naturally lowers adrenaline. So you know that I talk about Element all the time. This is one of my favorite things to do, is throw an electrolyte packet into my water, because that adds sufficient amounts of sodium and potassium. Don't get me started on potassium. I know I can kind of fire hydrant information, which I love to do because I just have so much information to share. The transformation doesn't come from information, it comes from understanding. And when you just get thrown information, which I know I'm throwing a lot of information at you, but it really comes from the understanding of, okay, I get it. I'm gonna make healthy cells, instead of like, oh my gosh, there's this huge list of all these things that I need to do. And it's like, no. Your cellular story is different than mine. But when we just simply understand what the cells need, that they need B vitamins, and you know, we're complex beings. We need pre and probiotics, and we need antioxidants and all these different things. Like, we can just do our best and have that understanding to flood our bodies with all the nutrients and protection that our cells need. I did have my friend Lauren, who is amazing. I will link to her fertility practice, as she is taking one-on-one clients right now. She is incredible. I wanted somebody to look over my labs just right before I conceived, just so that I felt as confident. No, me being a practitioner myself, I know the value and the benefit of somebody else somebody else's eyes on your labs and looking at what's going on. And Lauren, the biggest thing that she did for me is not only just be a wonderful person that came alongside of me in my journey, but because of the mold and because of the toxicity that my body had experienced, she really identified that even though I was doing all these things, that my HPA axis, I needed to have a stronger signaling. And this is where herbs come in. So she did recommend that I go on Vitex. And I gotta say this very carefully because a lot of times with women, it's just like, oh, what's the quick fix herb? So that's what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to just be like, this is my fertility protocol, so this is everybody's fertility protocol. A lot of women with PCOS and very high blood sugar should not be taking Vitex because it increases LH. So you please, everything that I say, please, 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 like, remember that your body is different, and everybody, you have to figure out what your body and your labs are saying for you. So this is why it can be really helpful to work with a practitioner. She recommended that I go on Vitex. She actually recommended a different Vitex, but I had already had Vitex in my cabinet, so I just started taking the one that I had. And this is Vitex Pro. This is the one that I took. I took 2 caps a day, and I took it through and into my second trimester. So there's a lot of different opinions on that. A lot of doctors will say a lot of different things. That's what I personally did for my body. And then also something that I personally put myself on is maca. I really wanted to do a gelatinized maca just because I wanted an extra boost like the month before we actually tried to conceive. And I did this raw maca every single day. And I just know how powerful maca is. And I knew that this is something that I personally just wanted to add in as an extra food support, even though it's in capsule form. But I just know the power of what God made that grows, whether it's from bees or whether it's from, maca or Vitex, these different herbs. I just know, the power in it all. Or even a prenatal vitamin where we're just not getting the nutrients from our food that we used to, that the food that God made that should have all these nutrients. Like, the bottom line is we don't live in the same world as our ancestors. And Nositol, I also took a Nositol. I just decided that with my blood sugar history, I really wanted to make sure that I was balancing my blood sugar and doing everything that I personally could to support blood sugar regulation. So, and then last but not least, of course, and I've been taking this forever, my Just Thrive probiotic. This is my ride or die. It's a soil-based probiotic. A lot of probiotics don't even make it to your stomach or to your gut because they can't survive your stomach acid. So this one has been clinically proven to lower lipopolysaccharides, which was the biggest hurdle for me when it came to my thyroid function. Your gut is connected to your thyroid. So instead of me getting put on thyroid, and my thyroid numbers have come back so beautiful and so strong in pregnancy, I also take Armor Colostrum every single day. Colostrum was the most critical food for me as well in healing my gut because of the toxicity from the mold and just all of the gut problems that came from that. There's no other food on the planet Earth like that. So I do my 4 scoops of Armor Colostrum every single day along with a probiotic. And this is the one that I take. I also love their prebiotic as well when I'm not having matcha, because that's another prebiotic. That is what we got. We have our daily multi, we have our fatty acids, we have our Vitex maca, 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, vitamin E, cranberry juice, chlorophyll, bee pollen. Now, I was taking beef liver as well, just because I wanted to build up my iron stores, but I stopped taking it because I monitor my iron, and my iron looks so good that I don't want to go too high with the iron. And beef liver is not a prenatal, okay? So coming into the world of whole food fertility nutrition as a practitioner, I would see that a lot, and I'm just here to say it's not a prenatal. It is not a prenatal. That is not a prenatal strategy. And just because some woman maybe took beef liver and she had a healthy pregnancy and she wasn't on a multivitamin, that does not mean that that's your cellular story and that you're sufficiently getting enough B12 and folate and things like that. So that's why I will tell you to take your own autonomy back for your own body. I track my nutrients in Chronometer, and I could see that I was not getting enough folate and B12 and these critical nutrients, and that's why I wanted to fill in the gaps with a high quality prenatal vitamin. And then we have our gelatin, which has the free form amino acids. Oh, good thing I wrote this down because I did forget one more thing. 130 grams of protein. I was doing 130 grams. Now that I'm pregnant, I've been at 150 grams of protein a day because blood volume increases. I really prioritize protein in the first trimester. And then the last thing that I forgot because I ran out of it, but both Bo and I were on CoQ10, and this comes from the doctor that I studied under. Evidence-based. He is so brilliant, and CoQ10 is such a critical part of our metabolic health and metabolic pathways. Bo and I were both on CoQ10, and Bo was also eating enough protein, balancing his blood sugar. He was doing everything that I was doing, not the Maca or the Vitex, obviously, things like that, but he was on a multivitamin. He was, I'll tell you exactly what he was on. He was on a multivitamin. Needed makes an amazing one. Any multivitamin without iron, but I like the needed one. And then CoQ10, he was weightlifting, eating sufficient amounts of protein, not going in a sauna, not going in anything hot, having healthy insulin levels in himself. Like I did a full blood panel on him because that's what I do, his blood chemistry, and for myself to check on all these things, and also a fatty acid. He was also taking cod liver oil as well, you know, making sure that he got sufficient amounts of omega-3s. He would take I love the Equip pre-workout, and that has free form amino acids in it, and that's amazing as well. Very healthy for your cells. That is everything. I hope more than anything that this video can bring you hope, and not just a list of to-dos and all these different things to do, but just knowing in my story, like I genuinely cannot even express that I didn't know if I was ever even going to be able to get pregnant. And then after I miscarried, I didn't know if I was going to be able to have a healthy pregnancy. If you feel like you don't have any hope, and if you feel like all you've ever been given is band-aids, if that's how you feel, I hope that this video can help you to see that, to give you the tools that you need to make healthy cells. Cells basically need two things. They need nutrients and protection. And the third thing that I think I should add is that they need love. They need love. And I don't say that in like a silly, superficial, or just kind of like, oh, I'm adding in this last one thing. Like, you need to know that your story and that you are not alone, and that even this community, share this with someone. Share this with someone. Oh my gosh, like me, it makes me want to cry. Like that I was searching, and I was like going to get hair tests, and I was trying to find like what's the answer, and now I really don't know what to do. After I miscarried, I just felt so lost. And so if you can share this video with somebody in your life who might just be needing somebody to share their story and to come alongside of them and say, you're not alone in your journey in your life and in your desire to have a family and have a baby, and you've maybe been searching and going to all these different doctors and all these different places, and you're just getting band-aid solutions, and you can rewrite your cellular story. And that's what I wish I would have known. And I did utilize functional labs to do that, and I became a practitioner, and I am working so hard and so diligently on bringing you the ability to order labs and actually look at what is going on inside of your body. But I'm telling you, it all comes back to the fundamentals anyway. So you might as well lay a good foundation. Even if you can't get lab work yet, or you don't have anybody to run it, it's still gonna come back to eating enough protein, balancing your blood sugar, filling in the nutrient gaps. When I did my blood work, I saw that I was low in zinc. There's no greater joy to me than God answering my prayer, which is that I just wanna help other women, and I genuinely hope that this video helped you. So leave a comment, let me know if this helped you, where you're at in your journey, how I can pray for you. I would love for everybody to be praying for each other in the comments and encouraging each other, because there's nothing that has hurt my heart more than walking through losing our first baby. And it's so impossible to rejoice with those who are rejoicing when you are weeping. We're supposed to weep with those who weep. And I just want you to know that I weep with you. And so even though, you know, now being halfway through my pregnancy, like life is such a miracle and it is such a gift from God. And I just wanted to be able to steward my body in the healthiest possible way to just take care of my body well, not, you know, obsess about it or restrict or make it perfect. That's not what it's about. I don't care about perfection. I don't care about taking all these supplements because I'm so healthy and I want to, like, I don't even know. Like, it's not about that at all. The point is to just steward my body well and look at the world that we live in and understand it from a way that God made our body, you know? And so let me know in the comments how I can pray for you. Send this to somebody who it might really encourage or help. And let's all help each other make healthy cells, because I didn't even touch on light. I didn't even touch on light as a nutrient, but I was outside every morning in the sunrise and midday sun, soaking up vitamin D for like 15, 20 minutes, getting that sun, you know, circadian rhythm, going to bed, not being on a blue phone, you know, blue light all night, aligning myself with the way that God made us in the world that we live in. We are all gonna feel our best when we do that, and we're gonna be able to show up for this beautiful life that God has gifted us with another day with breath in our lungs. And it's such a gift. And I just want all of us to feel our best in those days and to have the energy to get up and do it. So I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Everything will be linked, trust me, in the description box. Okay, I love you. Bye.